A single wine glass smashes against the marble floor, shards exploding under dim light. At the center of the chaos stands Emma Harrington, her pregnant belly visibly outlined beneath a slim-fitting dress. Her hand trembles at the side of her swollen abdomen. Across from her, Cole Harrington, once lauded as the brilliant founder of Harrington Future Tech, is frozen mid-sentence. The hush in the air weighs heavier than the broken glass at Emma's feet. She doesn't scream. She doesn't even speak. The heartbreak in her eyes says it all. She has just discovered the final piece of evidence confirming Cole's infidelity. Standing behind Cole, wearing a confident smirk, is Lauren Carlisle, the woman rumored to be more than just his executive liaison. Lauren's gloved hand rests lightly on Cole's shoulder as if staking a claim. There's no preamble here, just a raw moment of betrayal. Emma has 1,000 questions fighting to leave her lips, but not one of them surfaces. Instead, she stares at Cole, eyes filled with disbelief. She spent months feeling his distance grow, weeks spotting signs of another real woman, lipstick stains on his jacket collar, suspicious texts at odd hours, but witnessing them together intimately close in their penthouse suite is a bullet to her soul. Cole breaks the silence first. Emma, I didn't expect. His usual commanding tone is gone, replaced by the stammer of a man caught in the wrong. Lauren stays motionless, gaze unwavering, wearing an expression that's half amusement, half triumph. She doesn't bother to conceal her involvement. She radiates a sense of power, as if she's the true victor in this battle. Emma's breathing becomes ragged. She had come to deliver good news about an upcoming investor partnership, something she had still cared about despite how little Cole involved her these days. But this is the scene awaiting her. The man she married entwined with someone else in the very space that was supposed to symbolize their shared success and family legacy. An older concierge who inadvertently witnessed the glass shatter peers in from the door, uncertain if he should intervene. The staff knows the Harringtons as the glamorous couple of the West Coast's tech circles. Their hush extends the tension, magnifying Emma's anguish. She can't decide what hurts more, Cole's betrayal or the knowledge that he made her believe they were simply in a rough patch. Now that illusion is destroyed in real time, leaving her silent and seething. As Emma slowly kneels to pick up the larger shards of glass, a single tear slips down her cheek. She doesn't cut herself physically, but her soul feels ripped to pieces. The air crackles with unspoken accusations. Then Emma looks up, meeting Cole's eyes with an expression that's both heartbroken and resolute. There's no going back from this. Any shred of innocence that remained in their union has been obliterated. And as she rises, she offers no explanation, no outraged tirade. She only whispers, "You'll regret this." It's not a threat, it's a quiet prophecy. If the audience thinks this is intense, they have no idea what's coming next. Emma's past 6 months had been an exercise in loneliness. Even as her pregnancy progressed, Cole drifted further away, barely acknowledging her presence, let alone her growing belly. Initially, she blamed the distance on his workload. Harrington Future Tech was on the cusp of launching a revolutionary solar battery that promised to disrupt the energy market. But eventually, his late-night absences, the secretive phone calls, and the shift in his demeanor told a different story. She tries to remember their humble beginnings. A decade ago, they were two bright-eyed dreamers, huddling in a cramped studio apartment, brainstorming ways to power rural hospitals in developing countries. Back then, Cole would lay his head on her lap, share every micro-victory, and vow that Emma was his inspiration. Seeing him so cold now feels like living with a stranger. At a swanky fundraising gala, Emma stands off to the side, gently rubbing her abdomen. She observes Cole working the room, shaking hands with billionaires, joking with potential partners. Her presence goes nearly unnoticed. One silent observer in the crowd is Felicity Chang, an attorney specializing in tech startups, and Emma's longtime friend Felicity watches the distance between Emma and Cole, eyebrows pinched with concern. Throughout the night, Cole flaunts Lauren Carlisle, introducing her as his top marketing strategist. Their body language suggests something more intimate. The press cameras snap endless photos. Emma attempts a polite smile whenever a lens is pointed her way, but inside she feels an ache. She used to be the person by Cole's side at these gatherings, co-presenting their joint vision. Now she's sidelined as the pregnant wife, overshadowed by an alluring mistress who apparently gets Cole's new ambitions. Emma tries to approach Cole to share a moment of normalcy, maybe talk about the baby's upcoming ultrasound. But he brushes her off with a dismissive wave, mumbling, "Not now, Emma. This is important." The sting of those words lingers. When did she and their child stop being important? Nearby, Felicity catches Emma's downcast eyes and steps over. "You shouldn't be alone right now," she says gently, offering Emma a glass of sparkling water. Emma forces a small laugh. "I've gotten used to it." Felicity's gaze flickers to Cole and Lauren. "Let me know if you need anything, okay? Legal or otherwise." "I'm here," Emma nods deeply, appreciative but also hesitant. She doesn't want to admit the cracks in her marriage, not publicly, and certainly not to the press. She still clings to a shred of hope. Maybe if she endures, maybe if the baby is born healthy, Cole will remember what truly matters. But each humiliating moment stacks like bricks around her, walling her in. Then a photographer captures a telling shot. Cole stands too close to Lauren, hand lingering on her waist, while Emma is visible in the background, eyes filled with hurt. The photo spreads online. This is how the world starts seeing them, not as a power couple, but as a scandal waiting to happen. In that instant, Emma senses a shift. She knows the injustice runs deeper than mere infidelity. She's being phased out emotionally, financially, and perhaps even from the enterprise she helped build. The question is, will she stay silent? The image of Cole's hand on Lauren's waist burns in Emma's mind. Long after the gala, alone in their upscale penthouse, she replays the night's events. The baby stirs inside her, an uncomfortable reminder of how high the stakes truly are. She wonders how she went from being Cole's most trusted partner to feeling like an unwanted guest in her own marriage. Her nights are restless. The city lights outside glimmer like neon confessions of a world she barely recognizes. She used to feel safe within the walls of Harrington Future Tech, immersed in engineering breakthroughs that promised a cleaner planet. Now, instead of discussing solar cell efficiency with Cole, she deals with silence or half-hearted excuses about business dinners. Late one evening, Emma musters the courage to confront him. She waits by the living room window until he returns well past midnight. The faint smell of Lauren's perfume lingers on his suit, a cruel confirmation of her suspicions. "Where were you?" she asks, voice trembling but determined. Cole shrugs, "Working, meeting potential sponsors." His tone is distant, dismissive. He doesn't even make eye contact. Emma steps forward, heart pounding. "I know about you and Lauren. I've seen how you treat her in front of me. It's humiliating." For a moment, Cole's face twists with guilt, but it quickly hardens into arrogance. "Don't start, Emma. You're blowing things out of proportion. We've grown apart and I need someone on my level." He doesn't elaborate, but Emma understands the implications. She, now pregnant, emotionally weighed down, isn't exciting enough. That night, Emma sleeps alone in a guest room, replaying Cole's words over and over. The next morning, she decides to take her car and drive to the old Harrington Future Tech campus, back when it was just a small workshop. She needs a reminder of who she once was. The building stands largely abandoned, overshadowed by their new futuristic headquarters. Dust covers old prototypes. Faded notes still taped to whiteboards describing early battery designs. Standing in that space, she's flooded with memories, how she and Cole used to scribble formulas on napkins, giggling about the future they were about to conquer. She sees her signature next to his on one of the patent concept sheets. A tear slips down her cheek as she realizes her name is nowhere to be found in any updated legal documents or new marketing materials. She wonders if Cole systematically erased her from the narrative. Emma's phone pings a notification from social media. A gossip website has posted pictures of Cole and Lauren dancing intimately at a private lounge. The headline reads, "Billionaire Cole Harrington's next chapter." She stares at the screen, feeling the ground slip away. In that moment, she finally grasps the magnitude of Cole's plan. He isn't just straying personally, he's shifting her out of their professional empire too. Overcome by despair, Emma sinks to the floor of the deserted workshop. The old smell of machine oil and rusted metal surrounds her, a stark contrast to the polished life she has grown accustomed to. Her child moves again, as if reminding her that she can't afford to break. She places a hand on her belly and whispers, "I won't let him do this to us." 2 days later, Emma visits Felicity Chang's legal office. It's a modest but well-organized space filled with law journals and binders, marked with high-stakes corporate cases. Felicity closes the door carefully, eyes scanning Emma's face for clues about her emotional state. "I think Cole is planning to push me out of Future Tech." Emma begins, her voice low yet firm. She outlines the intangible evidence, the board meetings she's no longer invited to, the hush-hush acquisitions that bypass her input, and the marketing campaigns featuring Lauren as a new visionary. Felicity listens, nodding occasionally, her expression shifting from concern to controlled outrage. "Let's start with the basics," Felicity says. "Ownership shares any prenuptial agreements." Emma rummages through her bag, producing a battered file filled with older contracts, stock certificates, and initial partnership documents. "Back when we founded the company, Cole insisted we share everything 50-50. But as it grew, he took the reins, especially after the first round of angel investments. Felicity flips through the pages, eyebrows knitting together. I need to cross-reference these with the latest corporate filings. If your name's been removed or your shares diluted without your consent, we have grounds for a major suit. Emma's heart clenches. She doesn't want a court battle if it can be avoided. She just wants what's fair and to protect the future of her child. Felicity picks up on Emma's hesitation. Look, sometimes it doesn't come down to what we want. It's about what we have to do. You built this company. Don't let him strip you of your contribution. Emma nods. She feels a pang of guilt and sadness remembering the love she once shared with Cole. But this isn't the same man who used to scribble love notes on her desk in the early hours of dawn. Just then, Felicity's phone buzzes. She glances at the caller ID and frowns. It's from one of her corporate informants, putting it on speaker. A voice crackles through. I've seen an internal memo about rebranding Harrington Future Tech under a new name, Carlyle Innovations. The rumor is that Lauren Carlyle will be a new co-owner. Emma's stomach churns. This is worse than she thought. The call ends, leaving a heavy silence. Felicity sets her phone down, her eyes blazing. They're moving fast to replace your role, possibly your entire identity within the company. Emma's hand instinctively moves to her abdomen, protective. I can't let that happen. I can't let my baby be born into a reality where I have no say in what I helped create. Felicity exhales, then pushes a bundle of documents toward Emma. We'll need proof, financial records, digital correspondences, anything that indicates your ongoing involvement. The stronger our paper trail, the more leverage we'll have. Then we can decide our strategy, a legal injunction, or a negotiation from a position of strength. Emma clutches the papers, a swirl of resolve and fear seizing her. She never imagined she'd be here battling the person she once trusted more than anyone. But she can't ignore the injustice. If she remains silent, Cole will claim everything in the company's success, the public admiration, and even the narrative of why their marriage fell apart. She refuses to let him rewrite her story. Years ago, before the skyscrapers and paparazzi, there was a time when Cole Harrington's ambition was matched only by his gratitude toward Emma. In a small rented garage, they hammered out prototypes using secondhand equipment. Colito would tinker with circuits while Emma wrote funding proposals late into the night. They had no capital, no safety net, only dreams. Emma remembers these humble roots vividly, even if Cole pretends they never existed. In the timeline of their relationship, one event stands out: the cancer scare Emma faced in her mid-20s. Although it turned out to be a benign tumor, those weeks of uncertainty drew them closer than ever. Cole slept on a hospital cot, refusing to leave her side. Every day he would whisper, "We'll face everything together." The memory of his devotion back then conflicts with the callous man he's become. Emma visits her parents' home in a quiet suburb to gather old records, proof of her contributions to Future Tech's earliest days. In her childhood bedroom, she rifles through dusty boxes and emerges with a treasure trove of engineering sketches signed by both of them. A letter from an early investor praising Emma's marketing acumen. Even a cameo interview from a local newspaper where Cole states, "My wife is the brains behind the brand." She carefully places each piece in a protective folder. She's certain that Cole's transformation isn't just about money. There must be more to the story, some hidden trauma or a thirst for power that overshadowed his gratitude. Or maybe it's simpler. He just fell for someone new, discarding Emma in the process. It's a haunting thought, but she won't let it paralyze her. As she's about to leave her mother, Susan Garrett enters the room with a worried expression. "Emma, you're far along in your pregnancy. All this stress can't be good for you." Emma brushes a hand over her belly, feeling an uncomfortable tightness. "I know, Mom, but I can't watch him take everything." Susan sighs, then hands her a small diary. It's cover frayed. "You wrote in this every day after you and Cole got married. Maybe it'll remind you of what changed and when." Later that night, Emma flips through the diary. Most entries are sweet testaments to their love. But around the time Cole landed his first massive investment, the tone shifts. She'd written about feeling invisible, and Cole's new circle that doesn't include me. She'd also scribbled notes about a crucial day. Cole's father unexpectedly reappeared in his life after years of estrangement demanding money. This paternal conflict seems to coincide with Cole's sharper edges forming. Suddenly, Emma wonders if this father's reappearance shaped Cole's destructive path. Did Cole vow to never be weak or poor again, no matter the cost? The possibility that Cole's descent is rooted in fear of failure rather than pure malice pierces Emma's heart with conflicting emotions. Should she be angry or should she pity him? Yet the diary also reminds her how Cole's cruelty escalated over time. Regardless of his reasons, he chose betrayal. She closes the diary, tears forming. Even if empathy lingers, she can't ignore the present. He is actively trying to remove her from the very dream they shared, and that knowledge steals her resolve. Felicity invites Emma to her home for a quiet dinner to discuss the next legal steps. They settle in a cozy dining room lined with artwork from local painters. Over plates of stir-fried vegetables and grilled salmon, Felicity reveals a critical piece of intelligence. I found suspicious transactions. Cole's transferring funds to a new shell company tied to Lauren Carlisle. It looks like he's hedging his bets to expand or maybe rebrand. Without you. Emma's grip on her fork tightens. She imagines Cole swirling expensive whiskey in some upscale lounge, strategizing her complete removal. The betrayal stings deeper because they once dreamed so big for themselves and for the world. She feels the baby's gentle kick as if reminding her that this fight extends beyond her own heartbreak. It's about protecting the future for both of them to lighten the tension. Felicity changes the subject, asking about how Emma copes with the pregnancy. It's tough. Emma admits, eyes flicking downward. Sometimes I'm excited, other times I'm terrified. I never thought I'd be going through this alone. Felicity nods sympathetically, resting a hand on Emma's shoulder. This child has a strong mother, that counts for a lot. After dinner, Felicity spreads out documents on the coffee table. We have two approaches, she says. One, we file an immediate lawsuit for breach of fiduciary duty if we find he's misappropriating corporate funds. Two, we aim for a negotiation behind closed doors, leveraging your ownership documents to force a settlement. Perhaps a buyout? Imam exhales shakily. I'd prefer not to become tabloid fodder with a nasty court battle, but if he keeps pushing me aside, I may have no choice. Felicity nods. This is your call. Emma, whatever path you choose, I'll have your back. A phone buzzes. Emma checks her screen. It's a social media post showing Cole and Lauren boarding a private jet, apparently heading to a technology conference in Aspen. The short caption reads Harrington Future Tech's dynamic duo, leading the charge in clean energy. Emma's eyes narrow. If Lauren Carlisle is the face of clean energy, Emma wonders if the public has any clue about the backdoor deals Cole is orchestrating. She tosses the phone aside, frustration boiling. Felicity picks up on her mood. They look happy, but remember, illusions can be shattered with a single undeniable truth. Let the facts gather evidence. The rest will fall into place. Emma pictures the boxes of old sketches, the diaries, the video clips from tech fairs where she and Cole stood side by side. Those might be her saving grace, or at least her proof that Harrington Future Tech's success was never a solo achievement. She steels herself for the confrontation. Let him enjoy his private jet moment, she murmurs. It'll make the landing that much harder. Felicity smiles wryly. That's the spirit. Now get some rest, Emma. You need your strength. Emma nods, though the ache of betrayal weighs heavily. She gathers her things and leaves a swirl of conflicting emotions trailing behind her. If Cole wants to rewrite history, she'll provide the receipts that prove he didn't do it alone. And then maybe she'll decide just how merciful or not she plans to be. At Felicity's suggestion, Emma schedules a discreet meeting with a former project manager from Harrington Future Tech, Damon Reyes. He was among the first hires to witness Emma's behind-the-scenes efforts. They rendezvous in a quiet cafe off the beaten path, far from the glitzy business districts. Cole frequents. Damon's eyes dart nervously. Emma, I'm not exactly looking to cross Cole. He has powerful connections. She reassures him, explaining that she only wants the truth about the early days, how she contributed to product development, how she and Cole split responsibilities. Damon sighs, removing his glasses and rubbing the bridge of his nose. You were the backbone, you know? We used to joke that Cole was the face, but you were the pulse of the company. He describes how Emma personally recruited pivotal engineers, negotiated the first licensing deal, and rewrote flawed code when the team was shorthanded. Emma sits quietly absorbing these testimonies. Each piece of Damon's recollections is a puzzle part that could help paint the full picture of her role, something Cole can't easily dismiss. Damon continues, after that massive Series A funding, everything changed. Cole insisted on more executive power. He said it was just for show to impress bigger investors. Gradually, your responsibilities were cut. Few of us questioned it, but we didn't want to lose our jobs or sabotage the company's growth. Emma's heart twists. He claimed it was just to streamline the structure. I never realized he was pushing me out for good. Damon nods, guilt evident. We all saw it. We just didn't think it would go this far, hearing Damon's account. Emma experiences a flood of clarity and grief. If people inside the company notice, she wonders why no one spoke up. Then she realizes fear is a formidable silencer, especially when dealing with a powerful figure like Cole Harrington. She can't entirely blame them, but she can't let them off the hook either. Before leaving, Damon hands her a flash drive. These are some old project documents with track changes showing your contributions. They might help if you need to prove your involvement. Emma thanks him, her gratitude mixed with lingering bitterness. For better or worse, Damon's testimony and data will strengthen her case. That evening, Emma sits in her living room uploading the flash drive's contents into her laptop. She sees her own comments, suggestions, and solutions embedded throughout critical code updates. It stings to recall how excited she once was to solve those problems in real time with Cole. She reads a line of code she wrote that drastically improved battery stability. She had almost forgotten that it was her idea, overshadowed by years of Cole's bragging about his personal eureka moments. A small part of Emma's heart yearns for the old partnership, but she knows that man might be gone, replaced by someone who prioritizes ego over loyalty. The baby kicks again, almost as if sensing her resolve. She shuts her laptop, eyes fixated on the city skyline. Betrayal has a cost, and if Cole wants a war, he'll discover Emma has more power than he ever imagined. Emma's plan for a quiet approach crumbles when a scandalous news story breaks. Pregnant wife sidelined as tech mogul. Celebrates new partnership with mistress, photos from Aspen show. Cole and Lauren holding champagne flutes, toasting an upcoming contract with a foreign energy conglomerate. Emma's face is nowhere except in the headline subtext, an abandoned wife. The media frenzy escalates. Paparazzi gather outside the penthouse, hoping to snap Emma's reaction. She's mortified and furious. She never asked to become a tabloid punching bag. Each headline is a blow to her dignity, but also a jolt to her determination. If Cole wants to brand her as a pathetic relic, she'll show him she's anything but. That same week, Emma experiences intense stress-induced cramps. A late-night rush to the emergency room confirms early contractions. Thankfully, they managed to stabilize her condition, but the doctor warns that any further stress could lead to severe pregnancy complications. As she lies in the hospital bed, an IV drip in her arm, reality hits hard. Cole's betrayal is risking not only her emotional well-being, but also her child's health. Watching her unborn baby's heartbeat on the monitor, Emma realizes she has to fight smarter, not harder. She can't afford to let stress unravel her. She calls Felicity from her hospital room, voice trembling. "I want to proceed with the legal plan. No more delays. Let's protect everything we can." Felicity agrees, but insists Emma rest for a few days before diving into the fray. Emma's mother, Susan, arrives the next morning, tearful and apologetic for not intervening sooner, brings homemade soup and a blanket from Emma's childhood. Simple comforts that remind Emma she's not alone. Susan confesses she saw Cole's shift months ago, but hesitated to meddle. Emma holds her mother's hand, acknowledging they both fell prey to hoping for the best. That maternal love fortifies Emma's resolve. She's not just a wife, scorned, she's a mother, protecting her child. Meanwhile, in a rare twist of compassion, Cole sends Emma a bouquet of orchids with a brief note, "Heard you, or were ill. Get well. We'll talk soon." Cole, it feels hollow, but Emma senses a flicker of guilt on his part. That flicker isn't enough to heal the rift yet. It signals he's not entirely devoid of conscience. She tucks the card away, uncertain whether it will matter later. Upon leaving the hospital, Emma starts finalizing her evidence. She compiles Damon's documents, her diaries, old patent files, everything that shows she's integral to Future Tech's foundation. With Felicity's help, she drafts a letter to Harrington Future Tech's board, asserting her legal rights as co-founder and co-owner. The letter demands a formal audit and a freeze on any rebranding plans until her stake is recognized. When she drops the certified mail envelope at the post office, a tiny spark of hope ignites in her chest. She imagines the board members' faces when they see the magnitude of her claims. For too long, Emma allowed Cole to overshadow her. Now she's stepping out of the shadows. The fight has begun in earnest, and she's not backing down. Inside Harrington Future Tech's towering headquarters, tension builds. Cole paces in his executive suite, reading Emma's formal letter with gritted teeth. Lauren leans against a glass wall, arms folded, her eyes narrowing as she scans the legal jargon. "She can't do this," Lauren hisses. "You said you'd taken care of everything." Cole tosses the letter onto the desk, frustration coloring his voice. "I thought I had." Emma was never supposed to retaliate. She never wanted the spotlight. He looks rattled, his earlier arrogance chipped away. The brand he's meticulously shaping, Carlisle Harrington Solutions, now hangs in limbo. Lauren steps closer, her perfume cloying. You can't let this slow the momentum. The foreign conglomerate is expecting the rebrand announcement in less than a month. If Emma forces a freeze, we lose billions. Cole exhales, pinching the bridge of his nose. Let me think. Meanwhile, in a smaller office down the hall, Marcus Bell, a junior board member who's always admired Emma's original vision, scrolls through the letter. He recalls how she used to mentor the younger staff, encouraging them to innovate. He's torn loyal to the company's success, but uneasy about Cole's recent tactics. The board members whisper among themselves, some fear legal repercussions. Others feel Cole has become too reckless. Far from the corporate tension, Emma meets Felicity to review the next steps. Some board members might side with us, Felicity explains. They've seen Cole's shift. They might prefer Emma's leadership, or at least a settlement that doesn't tarnish the company's reputation. Emma tries not to get her hopes up. She knows Cole's cunning too well. He might have contingency plans. A pang of fear strikes when Felicity mentions word as Cole's father has been sniffing around against some debts or obligations. This could be fueling Cole's desperation for a quick rebrand and major deal. Emma recalls glimpses of Cole's father, a looming figure of intimidation who once demanded payouts. Could that be the pressure driving Cole to bulldoze her out? She wrestles with a strange mix of sympathy and anger. Even if Cole is acting under paternal threats, it doesn't excuse his betrayal. As she leaves Felicity's office, Emma checks her phone, missed calls from an unknown number. She hesitates, then answers the next time it rings. A muffled voice warns, "Drop the legal fight. You're out of your depth." Before she can reply, the line goes dead. Emma's heart thuds. She's never received direct threats before. Now it's more than corporate intrigue. It's personal and potentially dangerous. Emma's maternal instincts flare. This isn't just a business matter. She might be contending with shadowy players who do anything to keep Future Tech on track for that big foreign deal. She quickly texts Felicity about the threat. Her friend responds, urging caution and offering to arrange security if needed. Emma presses a hand to her belly, inhaling deeply. Fear tries to root itself in her mind, but she pushes it aside. She can't stop now. The threatened phone call only confirms how high the stakes are and how close she might be to exposing wrongdoing within the empire she once helped build. She won't be silenced, not when so much is on the line. Emma's next move is a private meeting with select board members. They convene in a discreet conference at a boutique hotel away from prying eyes. Felicity stands by Emma's side, presenting the evidence of Emma's role in founding Future Tech, early patent drafts, emails, prototypes, and logs, all attributing crucial breakthroughs to Emma's input. It's a calm, methodical takedown of Cole's narrative that he alone engineered the company's success. Marcus Bell, the junior board member, examines the documents. Another board member, Charlotte Mills, is clearly surprised by how much Emma contributed. "We never knew you were so involved." Charlotte admits, eyes flickering with a mixture of regret and admiration. Emma keeps her tone polite. "Cole was always the face. I never felt the need to step into the spotlight. Until now." Felicity emphasizes the legal repercussions if the board fails to acknowledge Emma's stake. She outlines potential lawsuits, shareholder disputes, and public relations nightmares. Some board members shift uneasily, aware that Future Tech's brand image is already shaky from the tabloid scandal. Emma notices sympathetic glances, but also fear. She can tell they're balancing corporate interests against personal loyalties to Cole. In a brief recess, Charlotte pulls Emma aside. "I believed Cole's story that you'd stepped away from the company willingly. But seeing this evidence..." "I'm sorry," Emma nods, a flicker of relief that at least some people recognize her truth. "I don't want to destroy Future Tech," she says quietly. "I want to preserve the vision Cole and I started. He's the one who's turned it into something else." Returning to the room, the board deliberates. They tentatively propose a settlement, a generous financial package, and a PR statement acknowledging Emma as co-founder in exchange for her silence and agreement not to interfere with the rebranding. Emma's heart pounds. This is her first tangible offer, but it means giving Cole and Lauren free rein to reshape everything. The money is tempting. She could secure her child's future. But does she want to watch from the sidelines as her life's work morphs into something unrecognizable? She's about to answer when Felicity cautions, "Let's not rush. We need to review the terms carefully." Emma nods, though she senses the board is pushing for a quick fix. They don't want a prolonged fight. Marcus steps in. "Maybe we can find a middle ground." Emma remains a strategic advisor with partial control over any significant brand decisions. That way she's not silenced and Future Tech stays stable. The idea lingers. Board members exchange looks. Emma's chest tightens. She can see them warming up to it. She can also see the tension it could cause with Cole, who likely won't stand for sharing power. Her phone buzzes, revealing a text from an unknown sender. Now or never, stop fighting. The intimidation tactic sets her nerves on edge. After a marathon discussion, no definitive agreement is reached, but it's clear Emma has leverage. As the meeting adjourns, Felicity whispers, "Cole won't take this lying down." Emma steals her gaze. "I know, but I won't back down either." In that moment, she glimpses a path forward. Risky? Yes, but a path where she might keep both her integrity and the company's original vision alive. Cole calls an emergency board meeting at Future Tech's headquarters the next morning. He strides in with Lauren by his side, their expressions tense. The board members, including Marcus and Charlotte, fill their seats. Emma, determined to stand her ground, arrives with Felicity. The atmosphere crackles with anticipation. Everyone senses a defining confrontation is about to unfold. Cole opens the meeting, glaring at Emma. "This chaos is derailing our deals. I won't let personal drama sabotage Future Tech." He slides a folder across the table, documents outlining the Carlisle Harrington rebrand, a near-final contract with the foreign conglomerate, and a statement of Emma's so-called voluntary retirement. Emma picks up the statement, scanning the lines that paint her as someone who chose to step back for personal reasons. The gall of it sends heat flaring through her. "I never agreed to retire," she counters. Voice calm but steely. "You're rewriting history." Lauren pipes up, her tone clipped. "Let's be honest, Emma. You haven't been involved in the day-to-day for ages. The market sees Cole as the visionary. This rebrand is crucial for investor confidence." Her eyes flick over Emma's pregnant belly, as though highlighting Emma's perceived weakness. Marcus clears his throat. "Actually, Emma has presented compelling evidence of her direct contributions to our core technology. Before we move forward with any rebrand, we need a thorough audit of ownership and intellectual property." Cole's jaw tightens, a flicker of panic crossing his face. This isn't the quick endorsement he hoped for. Suddenly, Cole's father, Wallace Harrington, strides into the boardroom unannounced. He's an imposing figure with graying hair and a hardened stare. "I heard you're all making a mess of my son's company," he announces, voice booming. Emma stares, recalling the stories Cole told about how his father walked out on them years ago. She wonders why he's reappearing now. Felicity tenses, sensing a wild card. Wallace throws down a set of documents, personal debts, promissory notes, and evidence linking him to Cole. "I've got a stake in this. Thanks to my dear boy's promises," he says, sneering at Emma. "He assured me there'd be plenty of money once the rebrand and foreign deal go through. So I suggest you all stop bickering and let Cole finalize it." Stunned silence blankets the room. This is the first time the board sees how Cole's personal obligations might be influencing corporate decisions. Emma's eyes lock on Cole, betrayal mixing with faint pity. She had suspected paternal issues, but never imagined they were so tangled with Future Tech's fate. Cole tries to salvage control. "Listen, we'll handle everything. My father's just here to ensure the timeline is met. The company stands to gain billions from the rebrand and global partnership. But the board isn't sold. They see potential scandal if the press learns Cole's father is using Future Tech as a personal bank." Emma seizes the moment. "This is bigger than my marriage. It's about the integrity of Harrington Future Tech." She looks around at the board members. "Don't let outside debts or personal vendettas dictate our future. We owe that much to our employees and shareholders." Wallace scoffs. "Sentimental nonsense." But the seed of doubt is planted in the board's mind. Cole's facade is cracking under the weight of hidden motives. The tension escalates, setting the stage for a showdown that could either end in Cole's triumph or his downfall, depending on what secrets are yet to be revealed. Lauren Carlisle's phone buzzes during a tense lull in the meeting, drawing her attention. Her eyes widen when she reads the notification, a leaked memo posted anonymously online. It details questionable fund transfers between Harrington Future Tech accounts and a shell corporation linked to Lauren's name. Gasps ripple through the room. Cole snatches the phone from Lauren, scanning the memo with mounting horror. Marcus quickly checks his own device. Sure enough, the memo has gone viral on a business whistleblower site. It exposes how Cole and Lauren orchestrated a plan to shift assets in preparation for a massive overseas deal. The memo hints at shady dealings, raising red flags about corporate transparency. Investors outside the room are likely panicking. Cole slams the phone on the table, cursing under his breath. Wallace grips the chair, his furious stare flitting between Cole and Lauren. You idiots let this leak. Now the deal might fall through. The board members look alarmed. A scandal at this scale could tank the stock, trigger government investigations, or both. Emma exchanges a surprised glance with Felicity. They hadn't planned this leak. Someone else has decided to blow the whistle. Is it Damon Reyes? Another disillusioned employee. Regardless, the timing couldn't be more damning for Cole. In the uproar, Charlotte Mills tries to restore order. We need immediate crisis control. Our legal team must address these allegations, deny or confirm the authenticity. We also need to reassure stakeholders. Cole rounds on Emma, desperation seeping into his voice. You orchestrated this, didn't you? She shakes her head. I have no idea who leaked it, Cole, but I do know you've been hiding financial moves. This is on you. A flash of guilt crosses his face before he returns to anger. He can't accept that his web of deceit is unraveling from multiple angles. Lauren tries to minimize damage. This is an overblown interpretation of normal corporate restructuring, she claims, though her voice trembles. We aren't doing anything illegal, but the memo details bank statements, wire transfers, and internal emails that raise serious questions. The board isn't convinced. Just then an assistant peeks in, voice shaky. Mr. Harrington, the press is outside. They want a statement. Investors are calling nonstop. The tension in the room spikes. Wallace storms out, barking into his phone, likely attempting to salvage the father-son plan. Lauren follows, pale and rattled. Cole lingers, glaring at Emma as if blaming her for all of it. She meets his gaze with a quiet, steeled resolve. Cole, you've gone too far. It didn't have to be like this. He wants to retort, but no words come. His empire is in chaos, and he stands at the center of the storm he created. When he finally leaves, the board scrambles into damage control mode. Emma and Felicity stay behind, observing the meltdown. We need to be prepared if they accuse you of being part of this scandal, Felicity warns. Emma nods. She's painfully aware that in the court of public opinion, guilt by association can be swift. Still, a faint satisfaction stirs within her. For the first time, Cole is feeling genuine consequences for his deceit, and something tells her the worst is yet to come. She can't shake the sense that this leak was only the opening salvo. There may be a bigger bombshell waiting around the corner. Outside the building, chaos reigns. Journalists cluster around the entrance, cameras flashing. Cole fights through the throng, ignoring shouted questions about the leaked memo, rumored corruption, and his marital strife. Meanwhile, Emma hangs back inside, sheltered by security guards. She watches him from a distance, her heart twinges, remembering the man who once promised to protect her. Now they're adversaries in a public battle. Felicity guides Emma to a side exit, slipping past paparazzi to avoid the media spectacle. They duck into Felicity's car, breathless. Let's regroup at my office, Felicity suggests, revving the engine. Emma nods, glancing back at the glass tower of Harrington Future Tech. She wonders if it's the last time she'll see it standing proud under Cole's name. A part of her feels sorrow. Another part feels relief. Within an hour, they're in Felicity's office. An uneasy hush fills the space. They both scroll through social media, reading headlines that vary from financial fraud at Future Tech to pregnant wife's revenge. While some stories cast Emma as the betrayed heroine, others depict her as a cunning spouse. Emma exhales heavily, wishing she could escape the swirl of half-truths. Before she can dwell too long, Felicity's phone rings. It's Damon Reyes, the former project manager. She puts him on speaker. His voice trembles with urgency. I wasn't the one who leaked the memo, but I have more info. There's a bigger scandal behind this. Cole's father is pressuring them to close a deal with a foreign conglomerate rumored to have unethical business practices, environmental violations, labor abuses. If Future Tech merges with them, everything you both built will be tainted. Emma's jaw tightens. All her efforts toward clean, responsible tech might be undone in a single stroke. Felicity's eyes narrow. Why would Cole risk that? Damon sighs. He's desperate for quick money to pay off Wallace's old debts. He's also locked into an agreement that if the conglomerate invests, Lauren becomes co-chair, guaranteeing them control. Emma rubs her temples, a migraine threatening. It's not just about revenge now. The entire purpose of Harrington Future Tech's sustainable innovation risks being compromised. She thanks Damon, promising to keep his name out of it. After he hangs up, Felicity says, "We must act fast to stop this deal." In a sudden burst of determination, Emma stands. Let's release a public statement clarifying my stance. I'll present myself as co-founder who wants to preserve the ethical core of Future Tech. We need to rally employees and investors who don't want to see the company's values shredded. Felicity nods. We also need to push for an emergency shareholder vote. If enough stakeholders side with you, we can stall or block the merger, but it means exposing everything, including Cole's personal issues and Wallace's involvement. Emma inhales, placing a hand on her belly. The baby stirs as if urging her on. She remembers the hospital scare and how stress nearly cost her child's health. Yet the stakes have never been higher. I'm ready, she says softly, for the sake of our child and the original vision. I have to do this. They begin drafting statements, contacting supportive board members, and reaching out to ethical investment groups. The path ahead is fraught with risk, but Emma feels a steely resolve. She refused to stay silent about Cole's personal betrayal. Now she refuses to stay silent about a corporate betrayal that could harm countless people and the planet they aim to protect. 2 days later, an emergency shareholder meeting is announced. The media descends on FutureTech, once again broadcasting every development. The tension in the auditorium is palpable. Rows of stakeholders buzz with anticipation, unsure if they should support Cole's bold expansion or rally behind Emma's claims of preserving integrity. As the meeting convenes, a hush falls. Cole takes the stage first, posture rigid. He delivers a carefully rehearsed speech about moving forward into new markets, framing the foreign conglomerate partnership as a necessary step to keep FutureTech ahead of the competition. He glances at Lauren, who sits in the front row, her expression unreadable. Wallace lurks on the sidelines, arms crossed. Scanning the crowd with a predatory gaze, Cole tries to spin the leaked memo as misunderstood restructuring, but some shareholders look unconvinced. Then Emma steps up, Felicity at her side. She clutches the microphone, her free hand steadying her pregnant belly. The auditorium lights reflect off her determined features. She begins by recounting the company's founding story. Two idealists in a cramped garage united by a dream to provide sustainable solutions. She displays old slides with her notes and sketches, tangible proof of her contributions. The audience watches riveted. This company was born from a promise of clean, ethical innovation. She says, voice resonating with quiet strength. That promise is threatened by hidden debts, personal vendettas, and morally questionable mergers. A wave of murmurs sweeps the room. Emma reveals concerns about the conglomerate's track record, environmental violations, unethical labor practices, and ongoing lawsuits in multiple countries. If we partner with them, FutureTech becomes complicit, she warns. Our reputation, our founding principles gone. She then addresses the personal front. I never wanted our marital issues to become public, but I won't stand by while the company I co-created is twisted into something unrecognizable. My child. Our child deserves a legacy founded on genuine integrity, not greed or coercion. Her words land with an emotional punch. Some shareholders exchange glances, nodding. They recall the brand's original mission, the reason they invested in the first place. Cole fights to maintain composure, but his fury is evident. Wallace shifts clearly. Uncomfortable Lauren tries to mask her concern. When Emma finishes, an uneasy silence blankets the auditorium. Then Marcus Bell stands, microphone in hand. I've reviewed the documents and Emma's right. We risk losing our identity if we proceed with this deal. Another shareholder, an older woman, adds, I invested because of FutureTech's moral high ground. Betraying that is a betrayal of us all. As more voices speak out, it becomes evident that the tide is turning against Cole and Wallace. In desperation, Cole tries to salvage support, but the more he speaks, the more defensive he sounds. The contrast between Emma's heartfelt appeal and Cole's corporate jargon couldn't be starker. A final vote is called. The results flash on a screen. A majority rejects the merger and calls for an investigation into financial irregularities. Lauren Carlisle visibly pales. Wallace Harrington storms out, cursing under his breath. Cole stands rooted, stunned. Emma meets his gaze, briefly. Her expression a mixture of sorrow and resolve. The motion passes to appoint Emma as interim ethics officer, a new role ensuring FutureTech stays aligned with its founding mission. She accepts, tears glimmering. For a moment, she closes her eyes, letting relief wash over her. The company is saved from a disastrous deal, and she's reclaimed her place in its future. In the aftermath, the building's corridors echo with hushed conversations. Some employees are relieved, by the vote hopeful. The scandal will blow over, and the company can refocus on real innovation. Others worry about Cole's next move. His temper is legendary, and no one expects him to surrender easily. Emma gathers her belongings from a small side office where she'd prepared for the meeting. Her phone pings incessantly with messages of support and media requests for interviews. She glances at them feeling equal parts exhaustion and triumph. She'd never sought the limelight, but now the spotlight is on her, and ironically, it feels less daunting than she expected. Suddenly, Cole appears in the doorway, shoulders slumped. He looks haggard, dark circles under his eyes, hair disheveled. For a moment, Emma sees a trace of the young man she once loved. He speaks softly, "You've won. Are you happy now?" She sets down her phone, swallowing the knot in her throat. This was never about winning or losing Cole. It was about doing the right thing. He steps forward, eyes clouded with regret. "I never meant to push you out completely. I just wanted to build something unstoppable to prove I'm not weak. Like my father always said, I lost sight of everything else." Emma's chest tightens. She can see the flicker of hurt behind his anger, a child still trying to earn paternal approval. "Your father's words don't define you," she says gently, "but your actions do." Cole exhales, shoulders sagging. "I know I messed up badly. I can't fix what I did to us." He glances at her stomach, a haunted look crossing his features. "I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want to be a part of the baby's life, if you'll let me." Emma closes her eyes. Months ago, she might have craved an apology, a promise of redemption. Now she just feels weary. "Cole, I can't pretend none of this happened. You need to face the consequences. Step away from the company. Let the legal process unfold. If you do that, maybe there's a path for you to be involved as a father, not as a tyrant." He nods, tears threatening. "I'll try." His voice wavers, a far cry from the confident mogul persona. "Good luck, Emma. You've earned it." With that, he slips out the door. She doesn't follow. There's nothing left to say that won't cheapen the moment. Stepping out into the corridor, Emma encounters Felicity, who smiles at her with relief. "You did it," Felicity says, voice brimming with pride. "Future Tech can begin to heal, and you can move forward without living in his shadow." Emma nods, tears pricking her eyes. She feels the baby move, a gentle reminder that life continues even in the midst of upheaval. "I'm ready," she replies. Then she notices an older maintenance worker down the hall quietly applauding. He'd watched them from the sidelines all along, witnessing the human drama behind the corporate facade. Emma offers him a warm smile, her heart softening. In that moment, she experiences a strange calm. The battle isn't entirely over. Legal scrutiny, brand rebuilding, and personal healing still lie ahead. But the worst of the storm has passed. Sometimes the simplest victories feel the most profound. A week later, Emma stands in the now familiar boardroom for a final press conference accompanied by Felicity, Marcus, and Charlotte. The mood is guardedly optimistic. A dozen reporters wait, cameras rolling. Emma's role as interim ethics officer is publicly announced, and alongside a statement clarifying that Cole has taken indefinite leave to address personal matters. No mention is made of Lauren Carlisle, who resigned quietly. Emma answers questions about the company's direction, emphasizing renewed focus on genuine sustainability, fair labor practices, and accountability. She's nervous. Public speaking was always Cole's forte, but she steadies herself by imagining a world where her child grows up proud of Future Tech's impact. She ends with, "No matter the challenges, we remain committed to the core principles that built this company: innovation, honesty, and respect." The press conference concludes to a smattering of polite applause. Emma steps off the makeshift stage, shoulders aching with tension. She's about to exit when Felicity hands her a folded note. "This arrived for you." Emma opens it, eyes scanning the handwritten script. "Check the safe deposit box. There's something you need to see." Her heart pounds. She doesn't recognize the handwriting. Is this a trap or another whistleblower document? She excuses herself and heads straight to the nearest private space, a small lounge area. Felicity follows, eyes wide with concern. "What is it?" Emma hands her the note, frowning. "Could be from Damon or someone else. I need to find out." Felicity checks the note. If it's referencing a safe deposit box, it might be in Cole's name, or maybe under Wallace Harrington. Emma recalls that Cole once had a private bank vault for important documents. She'd nearly forgotten it in the whirlwind of recent events. "We have to see what's inside," Emma declares, a sudden dread mingling with curiosity. That afternoon, they drive to the bank, a sleek building with tinted glass windows. After some legal paperwork and verifying, Emma's co-ownership, a bank manager, escorts them to a small private room. He sets a metallic safe deposit box on the table and leaves. Emma unlocks it with trembling hands. Inside, they find a stack of documents, Sealed envelopes in a flash drive. At first glance, it looks like typical corporate paperwork. But beneath the folders is a paternity test result bearing the name Lauren Carlisle. Emma's breath catches. The result indicates Cole is the father of Lauren's unborn child. Shock hits Emma like a punch to the gut. She locks eyes with Felicity, who's equally stunned. The final revelation. The dates suggest Lauren has been pregnant for weeks, overlapping with Emma's own pregnancy. A wave of nausea washes over Emma. Cole not only betrayed her emotionally and financially, but fathered a child with Lauren around the same time. This is the sudden twist no one saw coming. Emma exhales shakily, tears burning her eyes. Everything was about Cole's desperation, his father's debts, the rebrand, and also covering up another pregnancy. Felicity breaks the silence. What do you want to do? Emma's mind reels. She thinks of her unborn child and the future she's just fought to secure. She gently closes the box, heart pounding. Part 2 of her story is about to begin. I don't know yet, she admits, voice shaking. But one thing is certain, life has another shocking chapter waiting, and Emma won't be blindsided this time. She rises, cradling her belly, determined to protect her child, no matter what fresh betrayals await.